Well, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. That was another slip up from my lovely live-in producer. He's had to give me the thumbs up to go. My name is Angela Fagg. My channel's name is Messengers of Truth. So I want to start off with something funny today. And the rest of my videos, every time we start off, this one I know about, but the next ones, my husband is going to pick little 15-second, 20-second clips, minute. We're going to try to keep them to be very short clips, but something funny so we can laugh and then get into whatever we're going to talk about. Okay? Here we go.
Hey.
Yeah?
When we were talking about hurting people, what did you mean it wasn't your first time?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. You don't have to. I'm just saying, it isn't fair, your age, having to deal with all of this.
So it gets easier when you get older?
No, not really. But still.
The reason I asked whether you'd hear the glass or not is because I've noticed you don't hear too well from your right side. Is it because you were shot there?
Probably more from shooting. So if you want to keep your hearing, you stick to that knife.
Joel? Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
Yeah. It runs in your genes.
That is so goddamn stupid.
You laughed, motherfucker.
I didn't laugh.
Yes, you did.
Jesus, I'm losing it.
You're losing it big time.
Go to sleep.
Okay, so that was pretty funny. Wish I could have enjoyed that with you, but I couldn't hear it whatsoever. So I did watch it before, and the chick says, it runs in your genes. Get it? Diarrhea runs in your genes. The next one will be much funnier because I'll be able to hear it, so I'll be able to enjoy it also at the same time. So I have lots of things that I want to talk about. Things that I think are very important and that should be taught and should have been taught a long time ago. Okay? Even in children's books, they should have taught about this because this is important, especially if you're a Christian, right? And if you're Jewish, okay? Which half of my the family I grew up with was Jewish, and my mom was a Jew for Jesus, okay? Which she didn't get baptized until after I was born, but that doesn't matter. What matters is what's in this. What I'm going to tell you is important because I think that everybody should know these things, and I know that obviously a lot of people don't because it would have been talked about and we'd know the answers already, right? So I was reading the book of Jubilees. Sorry, I was reading the book of Jubilees in the 54 books of the Apocrypha. And the Jubilees are the account of the years through Noah, through everything, through Abraham, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you should actually probably educate yourself and read it. Yeah, has some of the words been changed? Have things been changed around? So, us layman people can understand it because this is the powers to be think that they get to just control everything. So, what I was reading in here, and it was talking about when the Nephilim and the giant demons were still on the earth, and this one prince of the demons the one that is supposed to tempt us. It's a different guy. It's not Satan. He has a different name, and I can't pronounce it, or I would like pronounce it for you. We're doing this live, but the video that comes up that's going to talk about it, I'll have my husband throw the information in there and where exactly it is. So I was reading it, and Noah, he goes to God and he says, God, these spirits are messing with my sons and everything. They're making them do bad things. This is when they were starting the war. And one of his grandsons had found some of the old writings of the Watchers from before the flood. So Noah was like, I remember what it was like, God, and I'm teaching them to remember what it was like. Please help me, help my sons to get relief from these spirits tormenting them, causing them to do things, causing wars to break out, to them to fight amongst each other, boils and infections and viruses, you get it? Parasites, causing just all kinds of stuff. So the angel comes, and the angel and then the prince demon dude, right? I can't pronounce it. It starts with an M. Really hard names to pronounce, I'll tell you. So he goes to God and he says, God, how am I supposed to show you how wicked humans are, how wicked men are, if you take all of these spirits away, the dead giants and Nephilims and stuff like that? And he's like, can I just keep 1/10 of them? And you can take the other 9/10 away and put it, I think it was called into the abyss, right? And he goes, because I need these demons so I can show you how wicked men are. So God agrees, but what he does is he sends an angel down to Noah for the relief, and he gives Noah all this information about how to keep his sons and daughters and, everybody from being sick and inflicted. Was the angel came and taught him medicines. It says it clear as day, taught medicines for the inflictions that the demons cause on the humans, on the people, us. And I'm thinking, okay, well that's pretty important information there. Who would have that information, right? Like, who would have it? Who were the people that went around destroying, taking out full civilizations, taking all their books, burning whatever they wanted to? Who were the ones who did that? The Romans. The Vatican. You get it? The Vatican. Who still has those? Has all these books to tell us how to keep these things off of us, right? And all the real stories and everything, because that's what they did. Especially after Jesus came. They took as much as they could from the Jewish people. All their writings, all their everything. They burned what they could, and they told them they were no longer allowed to speak Hebrew. That's what history tells us. When you read it, when you look up history, that's what it tells us. Okay? But what they didn't tell you, and I'm sure you could have seen this, I think it was Paul or Peter, the one that lands on the island, and then he saves all those people, and then he brings them all to Jesus and stuff. That island is the island of Malta. The Knights of Malta. You see where I'm going with this. Okay? The disciples of John, of John. They went there because those people accepted them because they were for Jesus, and they had a big hospital there. And they also had an army that they would go and fight against other people. But they had books. Okay? And after Napoleon and they lost the island, they fled and they went into Russia. Okay? You know, Ukraine, Russia. And the Knights of Malta, they were hiding out there where the Vatican, okay? The Vatican said, no, you guys are supposed to work for us. You're our war. You're our army now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to take control of everything because they want the books. They want the books they got. So, these books, you can look this up. It's in the history. So, a whole bunch of them, they decide they're going to go and work for the Vatican, but some of them stayed behind in Russia because they didn't feel safe. Okay, like the Vatican kills people, bro. This is known throughout history. They've been doing it forever. If you think it stopped, it didn't. So they stayed over there and they kept special books there. Bringing this up for a reason because there's a lot of things that none of us are told. So these books are still over there. And we're talking 2,000 years ago, roughly, okay? We really don't even know what year we're in, okay? They keep some of them. Well, all this time, if you haven't noticed, yes, look, Karl Marx, Stalin, all those people were bad dudes. Anybody that wants to kill and especially anybody that tells you aren't hungry enough until you eat your kid, that's pretty horrible. But I think somewhere in that time something got lost. Well, now Putin's in there and he gives Tucker Carlson all this history information, right? Why is it that a church group, right, the Vatican, they always go to countries that are in war? And you're going to say, oh, it's to pray with them. No, dude. Right before they started coming real hard at Russia with all this stuff. I'm not on nobody's team. I'm on God's team. So let's just say that first outright. So they could start going hard at Russia with the Pope pedophile. He decides to go over there and he's going to talk to him like, look, you just give me what I want and I'll call my people off. Well, that's not going to happen because they're looking for certain people, all right? So I wasn't there, so I'm not going to give you I have a great imagination. So this is what's going on, right? They're always attacking Russia. So why would they attack Russia? So then they're always attacking Russia because they want those books. If you think for one moment that this world is not a spiritual world that you live in, you are absolutely crazy. You have eyes and you do not see. You have ears and you do not hear. It says it all the time. You have to open them up. You have to stop refusing to think and see that there are things going on around you and say, no, that couldn't be happening. I don't like sci-fi movies, okay? I don't like them. I didn't like them back in the day. Sarah Connors isn't coming to save you. My mom and my brother loved all the sci-fi. So, family movie night, everybody gets to pick stuff and I'm always being forced to watch things I just don't like, but I still like the movies, My book fell. So, I don't like sci-fi movies. I don't like them. I don't want to go into outer space. But what we're living in right now is almost mythological, I guess you would call it. Some of the stuff is so unbelievable. It's crazy. I've been dealing with this stuff my whole entire life. This is not something that's new to me, to see things that other people aren't seeing. I learned to deal with it through my alcohol use. I drank a lot. I could drink anybody under the table. Matter of fact, we used to play games about it and I could just sit there and nothing. And that's without cocaine. With cocaine, you're screwed, dude, because but I don't do those things anymore. And it's been hard the last couple of years when I decided to quit drinking. And I'm not like crying about it. It's just some of the things that I've seen are very scary. And then I'm like, well, how am I going to say anything when it just ain't right? It's not because I get on the internet and I go through these rabbit holes. It's because I'm sitting in my living room and I'm watching something, but then I'm somewhere else at the same time. Or I have dreams being inside of a military base. Nobody can see me, but I see what they're doing. Where I'm just there. I have literally nobody that could even talk to me about this stuff. My last video, when I said that I was trying to look out for help, that's what my help I was talking about. I don't need a handout. I just need somebody who understands history and understands what I'm seeing is real. They took my mother 17 years ago. She was the one that helped me with this stuff. I have so many books. And that's the help I was talking about. I mean, like this. I can tell you I'm sitting in the other room and I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden in my mind I start getting these pictures, and I'm in a cave and I'm standing there, and the Queen of England comes out. She changes into a damn lizard, all right? This other person goes over there. Not person, I'm sorry. There's a person standing there. And this thing goes over and it cuts the throat and starts eating the blood. And then all these other little ones come out of nowhere and just start chomping on it. That sounds crazy. But that's what I saw. How do you explain that? I just have to take a moment. I started off with Noah, and then I came to here because you need to know that these people, and I know you hear it all over the place, they're lying to you. And some of those people are even lying to you. But I'm not going to call it lying. I'm going to call it withholding information that is very vital. Noah knew. Noah saw. He came from the other world. You know, they paint this picture of it was just all this stuff that happened before the flood, right? But what they don't tell you is God sent his angels here to, some people, okay, they do tell you about the angels being entrapped, but what they don't tell you is God healed most of all those people. And then he still flooded the land. And most people are going to be like, that's just horrible. he's, he's an unforgiving God. It's not the truth. Because those spirits, those souls are still able to be forgiven. It even says it in the book of Revelations. God will forgive demons. It happened during Noah too. Jesus also said, in the days of man or whatever, it is going to be like the same of the days of Noah. But my point being is, no one's going anywhere, dude. We've sat here and thought, not me, that there's going to be this great rapture. Tell me what you have brought to the earth, what you have brought to your community. What have you done for your local people that you should be taken away before literally all hell breaks loose? You think because you sit in church every day, not every day, but once a week or twice a week, and then you go to your prayer sessions, and that's just it? You celebrate pagan holidays. Pagan holidays, that's what you celebrate. You think that some man standing on a stage or walking around the room has more knowledge about God than you do, because you refuse to go deeper. You refuse to feel your own pain and the things that you caused. It's hard. It's not easy. That's what they don't tell you. They don't want to tell you that it's going to be painful. And most people won't even do it because of that, but they still sit in those churches. They still get dressed. They still get all fancied up and making sure that they're just good people. And that's what they think, they're good people. But what did Jesus say? He said, hypocrites. Oh, he was just talking about the Pharisees. No, he was talking about the people that sat there, made themselves look good, and then didn't do nothing else for their fellow man. When you sit there and you say, well, if you became rich, you wouldn't care about the poor people. Actually, I would. And the single mothers. The single mothers where the men were too weak to go and help them. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about actual help. That's what I went through. I wasn't even supposed to be born. That's something else I just found out the last couple of years of this stupid ass corona bullshit. I didn't go to my grandparents' house until I was almost 2 years old. My mom never told me it was that long. She just told me they weren't there when I was born because they didn't agree with it. She should have aborted me. She should have aborted me because my mom was still married to her last husband who beat her and dating my dad. That she should just abort me because I'm just going to be a bastard child anyways. My dad didn't stick around. We can use every excuse in the world for that. Oh, well, he just got out of Vietnam. Oh, well, he was this. Or, oh, well, no, it doesn't matter. You're weak. Especially after I've tried to reach out to you this many times through life. I wasn't supposed to be born. That's what they said. I wasn't supposed to be born. They should have aborted me. She's a bastard child. I was told once, not by my grandparents, by a great uncle going to my grandfather's funeral. I'm out on the back porch smoking a cigarette, minding my own business. The only one there to begin with, just me and my mom, because my one brother's in prison and my other brother's on a cruise, because God forbid you go to their funeral and waste that money on that cruise. Yeah, that's what my grandma said to him. Standing out there. And this old man comes out there and he says to me, don't be like your mother and have children out of wedlock. And at that time, my aunt came out there and got him because the limo was there for us to go to the funeral. Now, mind you, my mom is adopted. My dad's also adopted. My dad tried to find his family. Never told me their names, never nothing. But they didn't want to have nothing to do with them, supposedly. I don't know. I didn't talk to the people. My mom tried a long time ago. I have the paperwork to that, so I know that she tried. They told her that the warehouse, something happened in the warehouse and they don't have the paperwork anymore, that she should contact the government, give them some blood so they can find her family members. And my mom wasn't contacting the government for nothing. But that's where I come from. I have no family tree. None whatsoever. There is no looking back. There is no nothing. Now my brothers, they can do theirs. My last name, Fag, isn't even my last name. I don't even, first off, I've only met the grandparents, my brother's grandparents on the Fag side once when I was a little kid. They're probably dead by now. I don't know. And I'm not going to do the 23andMe and all this other stuff. I'm not giving nobody my blood anymore. Nobody's getting none of my blood. I'm not going to a doctor's office. I'm not going to none of them. And to tell you the truth, I don't think anybody should. That's why I brought up Noah. Because there's a way to not be sick anymore. Because that's what God said to him. They won't afflict you if you stay on the right path. And I'll tell you, the right path is not looking at titties everywhere. And that means girls, that means not showing your titties everywhere. And I'm going to say it. Listen, no one else is going to tell you. And you can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm a little fat too, okay? I'm a little fat. But I ain't going down on the beach in a 2-piece bikini, letting Betty back fat hang out all over the place and cellulite all flopping around because a guy telling you that looks good, he lying to you. He's only trying to get your punani, okay? He's only trying to get in your vagina. He don't give a shit about you. Why do you think he's just gonna move on to the next? Because first off, you gave it up too quick. I wish I would have known. I mean, my mom told me, but I wasn't listening. But look at what's going on right now. You got fat nasty. It's disgusting. I shouldn't have to see none of that out in public. I don't give a damn where you are or how old you are. You fat? Spandex ain't for you, okay? Nobody should have to see your ass crack anyways, even if you're skinny, okay? You're wearing your fucking spandex and I can see your asshole. I don't have to see every part of your vagina in a pair of pants. You're disgusting. And you walk around and you wonder why nobody has respect for you, why men and women don't have respect for each other. Women are slinging it out their pants leg all the time, and men are over here catching it from everybody. That's what they're doing. It's both. So don't think I'm some kind of feminist either, because I'm not. I can't stand those bitches. See, we do these videos for me to feel better. And because there's a lot of things that need to be said that people just aren't saying. Like these bitches out here talking about this football player, right? He says some real shit. There are women out there that want to take care of their family and bake fucking cookies. They want to make the best damn brownies we've ever had. And you know what? I hope they do. And can I have some? Because I love me some brownies. That's how I got chunky, because I like the food. But I ain't going to go out there and show my asshole to everybody. Or let's see how many rolls I can count in your back, you fat, nasty bitch. Sorry, I had a real... This last weekend, this fat, nasty bitch, I'm not the person that you try. This is why I stay home. Okay? I don't care. I got bond money. All right? I got bond money. I ain't afraid to go to jail either. Is it cold in there? Yeah, it's cold in there, and they feed you green bologna. Seminole County. So that's for anybody out there that's been to Seminole County Jail in Florida. They give you green bologna. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the biscuits are either, or half of that other stuff. You guys want to talk about J6ers? What about all the other prisoners? Do you know here in Florida? I knew this guy. You know what he told me when he was in prison? They locked him in a morgue drawer. Mortuary drawer. For days. That's your prison system. They do all kinds of stuff, but let's just worry about some. Let's not worry about all of them. Let's be focused on a little part. My brother almost died in prison. He almost died in prison. You want to know why? He had to get rushed out of there. Because it was his pancreas? Pancreas. Appendicitis. Appendix. Oh, appendix. Okay. It's freaking appendix. Because one of my brother's friends worked in that particular prison. He saw that Mark was laying in his cell still. Shouldn't have said his name, but whatever. Bags unite. Anyways, he saw that he was still in his cell, and because he knew my family, he went in there, because they grew up together, and he got my brother to the hospital. How many other people have been in those prisons in the same situation, and they just die off? Nobody cares about them. Oh, well, they were a criminal. Do you know how many people in Florida jails for driving on a suspended license? Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. When I spent my 72 days in jail for disorderly intoxication and resisting arrest without violence on my year's probation I got for it, don't worry. I spent the 72 days for it, right? But the prostitute that was HIV positive that just got out when I got in was already back in 2 weeks later, and they let her out again. Attempted murder charges, bro. But they didn't care. They just want to leave them out. Up in Orlando, they have a whole newspaper. It's a section in the newspaper. I don't know if they have an app now. Most likely. They want all the prostitutes working off OBT to register if they got STDs. That was years ago. So imagine what it's like now. My point being is, a lot of you people live in a fucking bubble. You don't realize your own towns. You just drive past it. I live there. Was never a prostitute. Let's just get that out there right now. I did try stripping once. That lasted 4 hours. Wasn't my thing. I actually tried to cocktail waitress too at a strip club. That wasn't my thing either. When I walked out and saw my girlfriend naked on the stage. Oh yeah, she's real judgy now, huh, doctor? What do you think got her through that? Oh, no bad game. Hey, listen, get your hustle, honey. But let me tell you something right now. You ain't no better than nobody else. That's for you if you get to see it. Make sure you get double boosted, bitch. You see, I'm not from where all these other people are from. I come from the bottoms, all right? I grew up in a trailer park. I take that as a fucking honor. You want to know why? Because I made it through it. My husband, he made it through it. We sit in a very nice house, to tell you the truth. I have a nice house that I live in. I have a big ass TV. My point being, you can make it through it, but you gotta not sit here and when you come out of it, look at everybody else that's poorer, or maybe they're still in it. You know what I'm saying? Smoking the dope, banging it up. You gonna look at them like that, or you gonna try to help your friend? You see, or help somebody else down the road. Most people won't even do it. You won't even look at that person that smells bad when you're walking out of the damn convenience store. You won't even say nothing to them. And you think that God's going to take you out of here? When the main thing that Jesus always did was, how are the poor people doing? They need to be fed. Oh, don't worry. We'll just send all our money so they can rape and pillage on other countries and do scientific experiments on all of us. Everything's poison. It doesn't matter. Hey, you're a cannibal and you don't even know it. Ha! You don't even know you're a cannibal. You say, oh, Angela, that's impossible. HEK-193. Look it up. Don't be stupid no more. That's what it is. You look through history because it'll show it to you. And matter of fact, I don't have it right now and I don't think I can walk in there and get it, but I have a very, very, very old Torah that was for a child for educational reasons. And it says in the front of it, these two ladies are the ones that redid it so it would be safe and not scare children. So they started back then making them little ninnies. You wonder why everybody don't want to scare the children. You're sending them straight to hell. That's what you're doing. That's the stumbling blocks. You don't want to tell them. You're putting the stumbling blocks there. I mean, how many children out there don't even know that the tree in their backyard that they're just wanting to bang on it and cut it down and all this other stuff is the one actually giving it oxygen to breathe? Or the grass or anything. Oh, don't have any crabgrass in your yard. Make sure you get your Roundup, everybody, because the weed is actually hurting you. Fun fact. Do you know that the weeds that grow in your yard and the weeds that grow wild everywhere, they process more of the toxins out of the air than the damn tree? But you don't know that because you won't educate yourself. I didn't plan on being on here long, but I ain't done yet. I put some mascara on for it, put a little powder so I wouldn't look too shiny, changed the lipstick so it'd be lighter because that other stuff, when I seen the video, I'm just going to be honest with you, when I saw the video, my mom popped in my head because it was too dark. And some people don't know this about my mom because she wasn't your mother, she was mine. Okay, I'm sorry, but this is the way I'm going to start being. I think I need to be a little bit more straightforward so people get where I'm coming from. She was my mother, not yours. Did she love you? Yes, she did love you, but she was my mother, not yours. She told me that dark-colored lipstick made you look like a whore. So I rebelled a lot. When she didn't catch me, I was always wearing maroon or black or whatever I could get my hands on because I didn't have one style. Like a lot of people just have one style. I just like to mix them all. That's what I did when I was a kid. I was a freaking weirdo. I'd have a reggae shirt on, like listening to Metallica or whatever. But she said, red is for horse all the time. And then my grandma would say stuff like, she would say stuff, well, It's okay, Carol. A little powder and paint makes a girl what she ain't. And my mom would say, well, red makes you look like a whore, Mom. You don't put the red on my daughter. So my grandma went out and got every shade of pink that there was so she could paint my nails or put my lipstick on me or whatever, but as long as it was pink. I also used to go with her and let her put me in dresses and other things that I didn't like. I was a tomboy. Wasn't a lesbian. I was a tomboy. Okay? I'm just going with everything that comes to my mind right now. It's been rough. And you need, and I'm telling you about some of my life so you understand that I'm not a weak person. That's what I do when I get it wrong. Let me reverse that. It's not that I'm a weak person, but I understand where people come from sometimes. I understand what it's like to be poor. I understand what it's like to go hungry and have to go to a food bank. I understand why it's better to pick up that bottle and do that line of cocaine or smoke me some dope because it feels better right now instead of what's going on up here. I understand that. A lot of people don't understand that. And when they get out of things, they want to be so totally different. I just try to, look, I'm going to be honest, because you're probably going to watch this anyways, bitch. That's for him. I let somebody come down here. I told them the one thing, I don't drink anymore. My life is completely different. I have nice things. I live in a nice house and I do not drink anymore. I also get up very early and I expect you to get up off your ass and go get a job right away and not to drink at my house. The first time I catch you drinking at my house, I will make you leave. But you, first off, treating me like an asshole and like I'm not, like I haven't been in the game before, like I didn't know that you were here every night when you would leave to go get cigarettes and be gone for an hour. That is, told you not to drink at my house. Not doing it anymore. I'm changing my life. And how you change your life is people, place, and things. Something I learned in AA when I was a teenager. My first time going to AA, I was 12 because my mom caught me smoking pot, so she made me go to AA. I tell you that I grew up with this hard life, but you don't understand that my mom was serious. If there would have been a dad in our house, not only would we got the best banana bread ever, okay, she made the best banana bread, all the time. We would have got it all the time because she would have been home to make it instead of working, trying to support her children. But she would have been placed so far up all three of ours butt that I can guarantee you half the things that we got in trouble for would have never happened. It would have never happened because my mom was involved as much as she could with working as much as she did. She didn't sit at home and drink and do all these drugs and all this other stuff. She was working all the time. When I was a teenager, she worked 2 nights a week. She had to. And the other three, it was during the day. She took 1 weekend day off and 1 weekday off just in case she had to take one of us to the doctor. She could schedule it on that day. I didn't get to see her as much as I wanted to. But you know what? There was always food on our table and she wasn't afraid to whack you. She carried a spoon around in her purse. So when I tell you that I was bad, you automatically think it's the parent, but it's not. In some cases it is, but not in all cases. My mom wasn't there to put the hammer down because I'll tell you, when she was, she did. She went to parenting classes and we had family meetings every Friday. She just gave me allowance so she could take it away because she went and took parenting classes because my one brother was getting in a lot of trouble when he was super good going to church and singing and all that stuff. He'd break your cigarette. I mean, he was just like, he was a good kid until whatever. She went to this parenting class because she wanted help, and she looked for anything that was free in the county. They didn't have computers then, so she couldn't just, oh, let me see that. No, she had to actually go places and ask questions to get the help. And she did. So she took this parenting class. I hated it. She started this notebook out. It's a great idea now. If she would have started us when we were younger, it probably would have worked perfect. But I was already bad. I was already doing a lot of bad stuff, getting suspended and expelled from school. I mean, I'm surprised I'm alive. And it just turned my whole life. And I fought the system because she was trying. So I fought it. So you know what I did? I stole her car at 14. I stole a car at 14 and totaled it. She couldn't claim, her insurance wouldn't have covered it, okay? And I would have went to jail. She didn't care about that. She wanted to put me in jail for it. I ran from the scene of the accident. Me and my friends did. And her insurance wouldn't have covered the car being fixed if it wasn't reported stolen. So she had to let me slide on it, but she didn't let me slide on it. I lived on the streets shortly after that because she kicked me out because I was that bad. And I deserved it at that time. Did I, do I have pain from that? Yeah, I have pain from that. But I love my mother, and I always will. My mom was tough. All this stuff going around these days, about the Masons and about this and that. My grandfather was a 32nd Mason, and my grandmother was an Eastern Star. I didn't know that until after she died, but whatever. I don't know. My grandparents were so good to me, they never did anything to us. My grandfather was a straight up dude. He was in World War II and he never talked about it. Not once. He wouldn't even complain of the pain that he was in from the shrapnel in his back. Not once. And now everybody's saying all this horrible stuff, and it's almost like you think I'm going to hate my grandparents. I'm not going to hate my and I know it's not just at me. It's just the whole of everything, right? It's the whole of everything. Everybody's bad. My grandparents were good to me. My mom was a good person. Do I know where she comes from? No. Do I know where I come from? No. I don't. I know that my family, regardless of if they're my blood or not, they were my family. My grandparents were. Who cares if they didn't, if they thought I was a bastard child? That's not the way they treated me growing up. My mom didn't even tell me. I'll tell you how I found out. I was looking in the back of my grandmother's photo album. She kept photo albums. I have photo albums from the early 1900s all the way up until she stopped making them in the 2000s. So I wanted to see, pictures of me and my family from when I was really little, and there was no baby pictures of me in there. That's how I found out. I knew that there was a period of time that I wasn't, because they were mad about what my mother had done. I know how. So I didn't know it was that long. And it's just like my name, Angela Fagg. That's not even what she wanted to name me. She gave me the last name Fagg because she didn't want all of her children to have different last names. I would tell you my other brother's last name, but I'm not going to go there because he's a little ninny right now anyways. He's a fucking sissy. He's got a Tesla. I don't care what anybody says. I hope that people will see this and maybe somebody out there will feel any better. I hate this world. I love the waterfalls and the rivers and the ocean and all the other things. But most of you sit on these screens, and what I mean on the other side, and you want to try to tell people what to do, but what you don't understand is some of them are going crazy because nobody's telling them that what they're seeing, they're not seeing on the internet, but what they're seeing in real life, they're being told that it's not real. And it is real. And you laugh at other people. You think Jesus was a good dude too. And you guys have twisted him up. You've twisted his words up. I can't help the tears are coming now because now we're going to talk about Jesus and you twisted his words up. You manipulated his words to manipulate people. And he's a good dude. He's one of those real stand-up dudes. He actually cares. He chose to come down here. You see, that's the part they don't want to tell you. He chose to come down here to be tortured for your sins. And you twisted him up and you stuck him in a box. And all you people sitting in these, you look at what's going on in America and you say, oh, I don't know what to do. Maybe get off your fucking ass. Get off your ass. Because you go to church, right? You believe in not hurting little kids. You believe in, but you do nothing. If all the churches and all of America and all the people the Christians decided to get off their asses and go to all these town hall meetings, all these council meetings, I would be going to more, but I don't have a car. We only have one car, which is fine. I'm not complaining about it, but I would go. You see, I already went the last time. My whole school board has changed. I know what witches are. I know what warlocks are. I know what wizards are. You go and see them all the time, but you change your name to doctor. Oh, or scientist. Or what's the other one? There's another one. Oh, I lose the words. Astronaut. Oh, we just have to expand. Look, nothing is new under the sun. What happened to Atlantis? Do you think that these were just primitive people running around during the times of Noah? You think it was just primitive people? They had to bang rocks together to make fire. Yeah. Oh, how are they genetically modifying things back then if they were just, living a primitive life? Really start thinking about things. Because they weren't. All this stuff's been around again. The internet wasn't made. You get it? It wasn't made. My eye's feeling better now. See, that's what happens is I'm supposed to say a lot of things and bring things up. But half of it, listen, for real, For real. Half of the things I can't even find. I have such a hard time with Google and trying to find things, or I go on these government sites and I try to find things, but I can't find them. I'm dyslexic. I have a learning disability, which I work around, okay? I'm not saying this for sympathy by any means. It just takes me longer. And then I find things and then I lose it and then I can't find it again. I'm crying now because it's frustrating. I've seen so many stories on the FBI vault that I can't even find now because I can't get the words right because I didn't use the same words that I used last time. Okay, I've been on here long enough. I think it's been like an hour, 56 minutes. I can see it over here if I look that way. And then before, I'm supposed to be looking here instead of at myself, but I'm trying to tell my husband, like, straight up, I need a thing there because I have to see myself when I'm talking. So I make sure that, you know, my nose isn't running on national TV and you're like, Angela, you're only on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. Okay, well, a lot of people are going to see that. I don't want to see snot coming out my nose or my eyes and now the mascara because I didn't get the waterproof kind. I'm sure I've got some brown going on. Can't see it because there's no way for me to see it. Can't hear it because there's no way for me to hear it. I'm just over it, dude. You want to know the truth? I'm over every last bit of it. I'm sick of people hurting each other. I'm sick of people saying they're actually helping other people and they ain't doing nothing but making videos to make themselves look good. I'm over it. You think I'm going to give you a list of the things that I do? Or the people that I've helped? Because I'm never going to do that. I'll tell you like my mom told, you know, this is what she said. She says it ain't nobody else's business what you do for somebody. You don't need to gloat about it. You just need to do what you're supposed to do because you're here to always help people, regardless of what it is. If it's taking the neighbor's trash out because they're old, then you take the neighbor's trash out because they're old. If it's holding the door open for somebody that you see needs help, then that's what you do. If you see somebody struggling with something, then you stop to help them. If you've seen a man attack a woman, if you see these men attacking women, like this asshole who just stabbed these little girls, playing dress up, little bitch, you don't just go, oh my God, get your head out your ass and start protecting at least the children. Can you at least do that? Can you at least protect the children? Oh no, let's cut their penises off. That's how we protect the children because that's just treating them good, right? Let's protect the children by cutting their You were never in the right body. God got everything wrong. No, there's no such thing as demons. God's fake. The devil's fake. Everything's fake. You're fake. You can be whatever you want to be. Let's go to Disneyland. Stumbling blocks is what you have done. And if you think for one moment that anybody's getting out of this, you're sadly mistaken because you're going to come back to God. You heard? You're going to realize what Jesus actually did for you, the choices he made. Because you think that, God just threw him down here, right? God just threw him down here. And he was just, oh my God, how did I get to earth? I'm down here. Oh yeah. He knew. He knew. And you abused him. You abused his name. And I don't like that. Never liked it. I didn't need Corona. I didn't need any of that. I knew who Jesus was. I know who he is. And I know the games of the devil. And just remember what it says. Genesis, it says, the woman will bruise your head. In the book of Revelations, it says, the beast comes up with one of its heads caved in. Doesn't tell you the in-between, does it? Let's dot connect it. The woman is going to bruise your head, you son of a bitch. And guess where you go for a little while? Yeah. Not saying it's me. I ain't no Sarah Connors. I'm just Angela Fagg. But what I'm saying is what I read. And that's what I see. So when the woman comes to bruise you in your head and you manipulate all these people to think that you're just some poor, innocent, no, dude, it's going to be on a national stage. And look, this is what I'm looking for. And I think people should find them very sorry about that. But during this, I call it a battle. Not a battle of fitteds, but the battle, because there's a battle that's going to happen in between this woman and the beast, right? So what I'm hoping for is like, she's out there, she's like, yeah, she's beating it up. And then all of a sudden God comes out of heaven and goes, finish him. And she's like, why you get? Like that. Yeah. Anyways, I have a great imagination. I probably should write books. But wouldn't that be cool if God was just like, finish him, and then everybody was like, damn, was that God? And I was like, bro, that was God. He talked out of the clouds, dude. Because you're going to see it. I'm 44, going to be 45 soon. I will see it in my lifetime. And whatever you do, and I'm trying to close this down. I'm trying to make sure I don't get nothing else on my mind. Whatever you do, this is the year you want to stay alive. I'm telling you this right now. You need to pray for your loved ones. You need to do whatever you can to keep every single one in your family alive. You don't want to die this year. This is not the year of dying. You do not want to die this year. You have to stay alive through this year, and you have to do the best that you can. I don't care if it's taking a whole bunch of vitamins, whatever it is that you have to take care of yourself, stop taking their vitamins, get it? I want to rub my eye. It's bothering me. I have really bad allergies too. Extremely bad allergies. I have to use the words that I can use. Or what comes through I don't even understand it half of the time, so I'm just going to say it. You cannot die this year. You'll go back through the recycler. Don't die this year. Now look right into the camera. Do not die this year. You'll go back into the recycler. I do not know what that fully means, but I don't have anybody else to talk to about these things. So just know, this year, just do not die this year. I don't know what the recycler means. All I know, and I don't believe in reincarnation. I'm not talking about that. I don't know what the recycler means. All I know is just this year is not the year to die. They're trying to get the souls off the planet. They're trying to get the souls and the spirits off the planet because they don't know who came down to destroy them yet. And they're trying to find whoever this person is. Okay? Too many people were born. You want to know why they're freaking out about the earth? Too many people were born and they couldn't count them all. They're trying to get the population down so they can keep eye on all the people because they don't want another Jesus to be born. You see, we don't just come down here like this. You have to be born here. They don't want that to happen again. That's why they have pushed abortion and everything else. You can think and say whatever you want, but you're not living in a spiritual world. You're not even recognizing what the spiritual implications can take on you. I didn't know most of them spiritual implications when I was younger. I know most of them now, and I'm trying to learn more. But what I do know is this is not the year to die. These crazy people that are, whatever they're doing, they have decided that they don't know who's been born. They've lost too many counts of the souls, so now they're trying to eliminate it. But God is just going to recycle everybody back through because we are not done yet. They do not win. We are not done yet. I think I've said too much through this, and now I'm going to go drink a cup of coffee. I know it's late at night, but I have to wind down from this because it takes a lot out of me. It takes a lot out of me. So, did we leave that one video up there? Okay. Sorry about that. So, I just want to tell you, and I just want you to know, no matter who you are, I don't care if you're hitting a crack pipe, shooting up, taking it, whatever, okay? I don't care if you come from the bottoms. I don't care if you're the richest person in the room, because you've been through it too. You just don't like to admit it. You've been through it too. You just have to tell people about it. No matter what, you always have to remember. You may not be able to hear God or feel God or anything like that because that's what the devil wants. But just know that he sits there and he thinks about you every single day. He thinks about you all the time. Jesus thinks about you all the time. It doesn't matter how many billions of people are born on this planet. All they think about is you. And I know that you're asking the question, well, why doesn't God just fix it? Why doesn't man just fix it? Just always remember that you are loved and you are never alone. You're never alone. God is always with you. And Jesus loves you. God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. I don't even know you, but I love you because everybody needs to feel loved. Okay? It's very important to know that you are loved. So you are loved no matter what. And just know that. So I'll see you for the next cry-athon, because that's what it feels like right now. I'm going to go bawl my eyes out because I feel a lot of pressure on me right now. But I'm not sad. So I don't even know what it's about. All right? I got burgers. Okay, we're cutting this off. I hope you guys have a good night, good day, good evening, good afternoon. Deuces. Bye-bye.